Hi everyone, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're going to get into it. And listen, before I get into our tea time, I want to say happy Easter to everyone. To those that celebrate, happy Easter. To those that don't, you know what? Just happy Sunday. And I'm bringing this story to you, although it's sad. I'm bringing it to you as a reminder to say, check on your family, check on your friends, check on your loved ones. Give somebody a hug today. Call somebody today, text somebody today to make sure that they are okay. So, this mother and son, and she also had a 4-year-old daughter, were found in their apartment dead. It's the mother was 38, the son was 8 years old, had a lot of disabilities, and then the daughter survived. The sad part about this story is packages were piling up uh, um, outside of her door for weeks, I want to say. Neighbors claimed they heard screaming. They heard screaming for days. Why wasn't cops called? Why wasn't someone, in that home sooner rather than later? I'm so glad that the daughter survived, but this is still sad. Let me go ahead and share screen so we can get more into this story.
Right now in the Bronx, investigators are trying to figure out how a mother and an 8-year-old boy died. Their bodies were found last night in an apartment building on 231st Street between White Plains Road and Carpenter Avenue in Wakefield. News 4's Melissa Colorado joins us live from that scene now. Melissa, what have you learned?
Well, Rain, I got a chance to speak to a neighbor who says she was friends with that mom, and she says that mom struggled with depression, but that neighbor also added that the mom would periodically call her and talk to her about her emotions, talk to her about her feelings. Tragically, she did not get a call this time, and now it's going to be up to the medical examiner's office to determine what caused the death of this mother and her child. Police say what started out as a wellness check in this apartment building in the Wakefield section of the Bronx yesterday evening ended with the horrifying discovery of two bodies, a 38-year-old mother and her 8-year-old son.
It's kind of scary. My head hurt.
Sources tell News 4 that a 4-year-old girl was found alive in the apartment and was taken to Montefiore Hospital to be evaluated. Neighbors reported hearing the little girl screaming for days.
She always outside with the child.
Siri lives next door to the apartment on East 231st Street and says the mother of three, two underage kids, and an adult daughter would often confide in her.
You can't see that she's going through depression.
Siri says it was well known to neighbors that the mother was struggling with her mental health and would occasionally have worrisome outbursts.
4 years ago, she was walking up and down. And one day she scared me because she said, but she was cursing.
Sources say the mother's father and her adult daughter had not heard from her in days and went into the apartment to check on them. It will be up to the medical examiner to determine how long the bodies were in the apartment and their cause of death. In the meantime, Siri is wondering if a simple phone call would have prevented this.
She called me now and then and we talk because she always out here and she would call me, I would call her. She didn't talk to me this time, and that is the saddest part.
And investigators are waiting on the results of that autopsy report that will find out the cause of death for both mother and son, as well as the exact time that they passed away. That's the latest here in the Wakefield section of the Bronx. I'm Melissa Colorado, News 4 New York.
All right, Melissa, thank you.
Let me share screen. So, New York City mom, son found dead inside squalid Bronx apartment where 4-year-old girl was trapped screaming for days, subsisting on chocolate to survive, the sources say. Now, a lot of times cops get a bad rap for the things that they do when stuff goes wrong. But my prayer is to all of the cops out there that are doing right and that have to go in and endure in their mind and see it with their own eyes, like these horrific, sad scenes of like just dead bodies or, people being killed. It's not easy. So I know a lot of times the people in blue get a lot of slack for the things they do wrong. But I want to shout out to them today on this Easter Sunday and say prayers their way for their mental health, their physical health, and their overall well-being, because they have to endure and see a lot. So imagine going in, seeing this horrific scene of one, the little girl just surrounded in this mess and having to live with the dead bodies of her own mother and brother for days. Let's check this out with them going in the house to get the body.
This area is not the best area at all. It has a really high crime rate, and I'm not that shocked, but I'm definitely shocked because that should not happen at all, especially to a child. And it's just someone to probably that didn't even deserve that. So yeah, really shocking. I haven't seen, I would say murder right now, but I would definitely say like the crime rate is extremely high in other cases as well, such as sexual abuse, assault, gun violence in here. This area is pretty bad. The city needs to get way better, especially the Bronx.
Imagine having to do this, the 8-year-old son, even the mother, because God only knows how long the body was there and it was deteriorating. But I read it was covered with bugs, and then the little girl was just on the bed with chocolate. Can you imagine? 4 years old. This is not easy, everyone. This is not easy. Those two look young. God bless them. Because you know, every job is not easy. The cops that have to go in and see this, have to clean up this crime scene, so to speak, like to collect evidence. It's a tough job. They have to be careful not to contaminate the crime scene. These are young cops here. So imagine seeing this. If you do a 20-year career, imagine seeing this like 20 years of your life. It's just a lot. So let's continue. A woman struggling with mental illness and her disabled son were found dead in a Bronx house of horrors Friday, with her 4-year-old daughter apparently trapped alone inside with the bug-covered corpses for days, subsisting on chocolate, according to authorities and relatives. Lisa Cotton, only 38, and her son, and her 8-year-old son, Nizer, were declared dead at the tragic scene. The woman's 4-year-old daughter promised, well, look, what a name, right? Destined, right, to live, was found covered in chocolate on her mom's bed by her older sibling who came to check on the doomed family. Neither body has signs of trauma. Carton, who had asthma, may have died of cardiac arrest, authorities told her dad, Herbert Cotton, while Nizer, who was born prematurely and had a feeding tube, might have tragically starved. Oh. Promise was brought to a local hospital in stable condition, the family and cops said. It's unclear when the mom and her son died or how long the girl had been alone inside, but neighbors had been complaining of a foul odor that smelled like death for weeks. Cops conducted a welfare check on the family Tuesday at the East 231st Street apartment in Wakefield section after receiving an anonymous 911 call. Well, you know what? Thank God to the person that called anonymously, or the little girl probably wouldn't have survived either. It's very sad. No one answered the door of the second floor unit. Neighbors told officers they hadn't seen Cotton or her kids in 2 weeks, sources said. But responding officers did not hear any noise or notice any odor and had no reason to break down the door, police sources said. They said they'd be back in a few days, a neighbor said of the cops. One of the social workers said she was trying to get a court order to have the door broken in. The shocking discovery was finally made Friday night after concerned Herbert, 71, got a call from his daughter's landlord asking if she's moved out. I've been trying to call her for days and she never answered. I figured she didn't answer me because she didn't want to talk to me, Herbert told the Post Sunday. He sent Cotton's oldest daughter to the apartment to check on them. When she came in, Nizair was slumped over, still in his chair, he said. The young woman didn't look for Cotton and instead found Promise feeding herself with chocolate on her mother's bed, he said. She picked her up and ran out and called the police, the weeping father said. According to the transcript of the young woman's Friday night 911 call, the young woman had seen bugs crawling on Nizair's body. Nizair was so small, I held him in my palm like a bird, like a young bird, the devastated grandfather recalled. He's talking about when he was born, not at this particular incident. He is now caring for Promise in his Bronx home. The 71-year-old dad. Not for nothing, I'm not trying to run somebody's life, but why isn't a sibling doing it? The traumatized girl was curled up in a chair in her grandfather's home Saturday, silently watching cartoons when the Post visited. She hasn't said anything. She's a baby. She looks at me sometimes, like she knows something, Herbert said of the child. We don't know anything. We're trying to find out. Herbert, who was originally from St. Kitts, said his daughter struggled with what may have been bipolar disorder. He now wonders how he'll lay her and his grandson to rest. I'm sorry, two of them, he said through tears. How am I going to get the money to bury both of them? The horrific deaths felt fake, said Lisa Cotton's brother, Raheem Smith. I don't understand what happened, he said. Neighbors were also left with questions. I believe the mother probably did die first. And since the young boy disabled was only kept alive by a feeding tube, there was no one there to feed him. So he probably died soon after. The landlord hadn't done wellness checks. The landlord hadn't done wellness checks. People had called, neighbors called, said Eric Perez, who lives upstairs from Lisa Cotton. It just smells like rat infested. The exterminator said the same thing. The smell is similar to rats and even death. The mother had an Administration for Children's Services case pending against her, police sources said. She was arrested in June 2021 on child abandonment charges after she was caught acting erratically, swinging her then infant daughter around in a stroller and lighting a wig on fire in front of a commercial strip on White Plains Road, the sources said. When cops arrived, they found her walking away from the child. The case was later sealed, authorities said. The mom had episodes, claimed another neighbor who declined to give her name. One time she threw paint out the window and she has been talking about the devil, the neighbor said. Adding about a year ago, she was out talking about the devil. I didn't know what was going on. The mom appeared to be, the S word. And another resident who claimed the mom had gone to the building's rooftop a couple of years ago with her son with apparently deadly intent. She wanted to commit S with the boy, the neighbor who gave her name, as Charlene said. Another time, the mom proclaimed, I'm going to kill everybody on the block. Charlene, a home health aide, record. It hurts because it's somebody who you know, somebody who you see, somebody who you were close to. And now it's going to be when you come outside, you see no one there, and that's going to hurt, she said. I hope the little girl is going to be okay. An ACS spokesperson said the situation is now under investigation. It's under investigation that the boy is dead and the 4-year-old got traumatized. ACS should have done more for the kids, said another resident who gave his name as Mark. We called the police and they took her away, he said of the roof incident. In a sense, I blame ACS. They should have done more from the first. Why leave the kids with her, he added. When they came to check on her, they shouldn't have left. They should have been more forceful. This is so sad because I think it probably could have been preventable that the disabled son died, and it definitely could have been preventable that the 4-year-old, suffered so much trauma, and now she's not even speaking. I'm saying this respectfully. I think it is best to be with a relative, but I don't know if the grandfather 71 is going to be able to do this. This girl is 4. And she needs a lot of services. She needs counseling. She needs help. That I don't know the grandfather is prepared, to be able to do this, to perhaps take this girl to counseling, take her to school. It's going to be a lot. This is sad. I don't, here it is. I think, and nothing against this agency, but it definitely needs to be revamped. Child Protective Services, because we heard too many stories just alone on my channel during Trended Topics where they get an F. And this is another epic fail. If the mother was on the rooftop with her disabled son ready to end it all, why was the disabled son and the 4-year-old daughter still there? If they caught the mother on the street swinging the 4-year-old when she was younger around and around and around in a circle, then burning a wig and then walking away from the girl, why was that girl still with her? Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next video. Happy Easter.